Hello and welcome to Odds on Bundesliga 21st match day after the break, and we have Bayern Munich Leipzig. So let's analyze all the games, of course with Radek Vegas, but also with you. Let me know what you think about the games in the comment section, and of course don't forget, if you enjoy our videos, press the like button, subscribe to our channel and click on the bell to get notifications. And now let's go on with the show. After the break, we are back into the Bundesliga. We have the 21st match day and we have Bayern Leipzig and Radek Vegas. How are you, Radek?
Hello, Eduardo. Looking forward to this game day after we had 1 week break. Nice to regain forces and now striking back in the Bundesliga.
Exactly. Before we had so many surprises actually in the German Cup, but let's focus on the Bundesliga. And on Friday, we have Hertha Bochum. This is a very important game to avoid relegation because both teams are in danger, especially Hertha 3 points away from Augsburg. The last game was a defeat against Bayern Munich. This can happen, but also they lost in the Cup. So 4 winless games since they beat Borussia Dortmund at home. When you are facing Bochum at home, Radek, I think your expectations are to win the game, of course.
Yes, and what I like to compare in these situations is the home standings and the away standings, and only watching how many goals they scored at home and how many goals they conceded at home. And if you compare Hertha, who conceded 16 goals at home, and on the other hand, we have Bochum only scored 6 goals away and conceded 21 goals on away pitches. That shows that Bochum is clearly a home team, and that makes me very confident that Hertha is the favorite here. No matter how high they lost against Bayern Munich, we have to concentrate on the positive aspects here, because they scored a goal against Bayern Munich at home. That's not that bad. And if they can score against Bayern Munich at home, they can score twice or even 3 goals at home against Bochum. So I'm confident that Hertha is a good pick here to win, because they have odds of 2.3. We can go to the Asian handicaps. Maybe Asian handicap 0 on Bochum will be on Hertha will be 1.6. That's okay for a combination bet. We come to this at the end of the show, our 𝐬𝐿𝐴. And in Germany we call it combination, and that's why I switched to it. And the other thing what I like here is really betting on goals, because we get really attractive odds on over 2.5 goals here, odds of 2.0. That's just a bet against the weak defense of Bochum away and the not so bad home strikers of Hertha Berlin, and that's my favorite bet here. I like to bet on over 2.5 goals here, and I do that not often, so I only do it when I think the odds are really good and the probability for winning the bet is also very good.
Okay, then let's go for over 2.5 goals, or if someone wants, also for the Hertha victory. This is on Friday. Then on Saturday we have Bielefeld Gladbach. I think at this stage of the year we thought that Bielefeld was going to be already doomed and in Bundesliga too, but they are making a miracle. They beat Frankfurt. They are away now of the relegation spots. 5 undefeated games, 3 victories, 2 draws, and now if they get another victory they will put Gladbach in trouble. It's difficult to explain, Radek, about Gladbach. The last 8 Bundesliga games, only 1 victory, and was against Bayern Munich.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous, because you think they are that bad, and then they beat Bayern Munich, and I really don't know how this is possible. And it's it shows that Gladbach has a huge potential, but they missed to collect points in almost every game in the season. That's why they're on position 12 and only 1 point in advance to Bielefeld. But yeah, you can't bet on Gladbach here because they were so bad. But the hope is that they show what they are capable of, and then I would say the odds on Gladbach are good, because 2.2 on Gladbach seems like a good bet, but as we know, they are really struggling, and maybe their coach Adi Hütter found some recipe to turn around in the 2 weeks of break, and yeah, it's kind of hard to bet, because we all know that Arminia Bielefeld had some really big surprises at home, and Gladbach is too weak to bet on. That's why a really unattractive game to bet, and I don't want to put my money in this kind of situation.
Many times, Radek, you like the draw, no? In these kind of games where you don't know who is gonna win. Why not going for a draw?
Yeah, because I tend that Gladbach must be the better team, but as always, I don't trust them. And if I think one team is better, but I don't trust them, I don't bet on anything, because draw is possible for sure. But not my favorite bet. If it's just a paper tip in a game, I would say Gladbach can win this game 2-1. But putting money on something is a complete different thing, and that's why I won't recommend to bet here.
Okay, then we have Augsburg, Union Berlin. Perhaps you like better the odds for Union Berlin. We are talking about Augsburg right now in the playoffs for relegation after the defeat against Leverkusen, and Union Berlin, they are doing an amazing season. They are now in Champions League spots after the victory against Gladbach, 5 undefeated games, 𝐿𝐭𝐿𝐴 scoring, so can be tempted, no? These odds of around 2.5 for Union Berlin.
Yeah, if you wouldn't have told me, I would guess if you only watch the spots at and on the other hand, it's maybe a fault and maybe a chance, because Union Berlin is the team of the hour. You have to go for Union Berlin here. I won't bet on a win of Union Berlin, but because it's not necessary, because the odds are that high. I have two options here. Asian handicap 0 means I get my money back if there is a draw, which is always possible in Augsburg, because Augsburg was beating Bayern Munich at home and had a draw against Leipzig. That's why the bookies might be a bit aware of Augsburg, and we all know Union Berlin was the only team who lost against Greuther Fürth at Furth, or the first team who lost against Furth in this season. That might be the reasons, because that they have odds like this, but I think Asian handicap 0 on Union Berlin, you get odds of 1.8. Depends on the bookie you choose. Compare it on Oddspedia and take the best odd, and then this is a great bet.
And also Augsburg, as you said, they are not that bad playing at home, creating trouble against Leipzig, against Frankfurt, only one defeat in the last 7 home games. So perhaps this is why the odds are that high for Union Berlin, a Champions League team, to win in Augsburg. Then we have Cologne, Freiburg, 2 teams that want to be in Europe next season. Both are doing an amazing season so far. Cologne, they drew against Bochum in the last game, but were defeated by Hamburg. Nice to see Hamburg, by the way, again in the cup. Whereas for Freiburg, as you mentioned in some previous shows, they have to go down and down in the standings. Only one victory away in the last 5 games was that famous game against Gladbach 0-6.
Yeah, and This is a clear draw in my eyes because Cologne is a really good home team. They only lost 2 games at home. They scored 18 goals at home and conceded 15 goals at home. Just look at the home and away standings here. Freiburg, on the other hand, is one of the best away teams, but you mentioned that in the last 5 games they had really big problems. They scored 16 goals away. That's a good amount of goals, but as you also said, that I think they have to step down a bit in their situation, because I can't. It's hard to believe that Freiburg will be in the international spots next year. That's why I think they might go down, and in this situation, I really don't think there is a winner, and that's why I like the odds of 3.8 on a draw here. And another thing could be both teams to score, because Cologne likes to score and they don't have the best defense, and Freiburg is always good for a counter attack, and that's why this can be a chance betting on over 2.5 goals here. We get odds of 1.7. That's not too bad, but also not too good. That's why I like more the draw bet, where we only risk 1/3 of a unit to win 1 unit, and always divide 1 unit through the odd and then bet that much that you can win 1 unit. That's why you don't risk too much to lose, and you win the most of it.
A draw here, then we have Mainz, Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim was another team that was fighting for the Champions League spots some weeks ago, but they lost the last 3 games. Also, as you expected, they had to go down, and it won't be easy also the trip to Mainz, because they suffer when they are traveling. For instance, they lost against Furth, but at home, the last 3 games were victories without conceding a single goal, so it won't be easy for Hoffenheim to bounce back in this game.
But Mainz had not the biggest opponents here. They won against Bochum and against Hertha Berlin, okay. All teams which are really struggling in this season. And on the other hand, Hoffenheim still has power in them, because as we've seen, they were on position 3 some game days ago, and they had really hard opponents with Borussia Dortmund and Union Berlin, to play at Union Berlin. So that's why they didn't collect that many points in the past. But I think they have to collect at least 1 point here. I think the value is more on the Hoffenheim side, because they have to show more. They had the time to improve their style in the last 2 weeks, and that's why I think they worked harder than Mainz in this time. I like the odds on 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐺𝐻 here, on Hoffenheim 2.0. You can't complain about that, and that's why 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐺𝐻 on Hoffenheim is my bet here.
All right. 1 defeat at home of Mainz the whole season. They are quite good when they are playing at the 𝐬𝐴 Arena. Then Stuttgart, Frankfurt, 2 teams that are really... They haven't won in this 2022. Stuttgart already in relegation spots, 4 defeats in the last 5 games. Only they picked up 1 point in these last 5 games, and was against Furth. Whereas Frankfurt, some weeks ago, we thought they were going to fight again for Europe or Champions League, but also only 1 point in the last 3 games. Which team do we support here? Frankfurt, they have more quality, of course.
I would say for sure Frankfurt is a better pick than betting on Stuttgart at home. The problem is that the Bundesliga sometimes is kind of nuts when we expect maybe a clear thing, like a bad team like Stuttgart playing against a good team like Frankfurt should be a win for Frankfurt. And I thought Stuttgart might become better, and I thought they might have a chance against Freiburg, but at the end they lost 2-0. That's why I think against Frankfurt it's getting even harder. And I like the odds on Frankfurt because 2.5 on a really good team is a good option, and also always be aware of the draw, and that's why Asian Handicap 0 is the best bet for most of the games. If you get good odds on Asian Handicap 0 around 2, I think it's better than betting on a win in a three-way competition, and that's why 1.85 on Frankfurt Asian Handicap 0 is my bet.
Great. Then we have the game of the games in this match day, although, of course, Leipzig this season, they are not fighting for the championship, but they are getting better with Tedesco in charge. 4 consecutive victories since they lost at home against Bielefeld, even in the cup. But we know, Radek, that these kind of important games, Bayern Munich, they always negotiated very well, and they did react after that shocking defeat against Gladbach.
Yes, and what I didn't expect, that they won their 2 games after that really clear with 4-0 against Cologne and 4-1 against Hertha. That was a really good reaction, and we know that Bayern was missing a lot of players against Gladbach, and now they are back on track. And yeah, I don't think that Leipzig is really that hard opponent than last year's. And as you watch the results of last season, Bayern Munich beat them 4-1 last year as well. So I think the odds are correct. We don't get a lot of money betting on Bayern Munich, only 1.5. I really don't expect a surprise of Leipzig here, or that they keep it close, so I don't bet on the three-way. But as Bayern Munich was scoring a lot of goals in the last games, and in the last games against Leipzig in the last seasons, we always saw 5 goals or more in this clash of these 2 teams, and that could be an option, betting on over 3.5 goals with odds of 2, but yeah, I really don't like the over 3.5 bets, and that's the problem here. So for a 𝐬𝐭𝐿𝐴, I would say over 2.5 with odds of 1.4 is an option. You can put this in an 𝐬𝐿𝐴, but I don't know why, but I sometimes have a flash in my mind if I see a game, and in this game the flash was 1-1. I don't believe that it's going to 1-1, but maybe the universe wants to tell me something, and I can't find good odds here. That's why I'm not betting. But could be interesting if my brain works, or I don't know why. Maybe I should have to go to the doctor if Bayern Munich wins this 4-0.
Well, if you woke up in the middle of the night with the result of 1-1 flashing in your mind, why not going for the draw? Is 5.5, although, of course, remember that Leipzig this season, they are very poor when they are traveling. The first away victory came very recently against Stuttgart, so I guess we shouldn't expect them to win also in the Allianz. But who knows? Bayern cruising in the last 2 games, trying to keep distances with Dortmund, and Dortmund, they have a good test against Leverkusen. This is the 2nd and the 3rd, and they are both in really good form. Dortmund, they won the last 3 Bundesliga games in 2022, although remember that they lost in the cup against St. Pauli, and also Leverkusen, they are in a good run. This is a very good game, Radek, and I expect many goals.
Yes, everyone does, and we've seen 7 goals in the first game in the season, which Borussia Dortmund won 4-3, and last season Dortmund won at home 3-1, and the game at Leverkusen was 2-1 for Leverkusen, but I think, goals is an option for sure, but I think the bookies might know that as well, and that's why we don't get really good odds on over 2.5. And it's the same here as in the game between Bayern Munich and Leipzig. We only get good odds on over 3.5, and that's not impossible, but not really attractive. Also, putting over 2.5 between these two teams in an 𝐬𝐿𝐴, you get odds of 1.4. This is for sure a good bet, maybe a no-brainer, but I won't put too much money on that. Always put the same amount of money on each bet, because no bet is more worth than the other. And yes, I really like the odds on Dortmund here, because I think Dortmund is one class better than Leverkusen, and we all saw Leverkusen struggling big in the last games of 21, and now they won 2 games against weak opponents, and that's why I think Dortmund has way more quality, and I think at home Dortmund is a better pick. And if you get odds of around 2.0 on Dortmund at home, this is something I really like. So I would bet as a single bet on Dortmund win, and if I have an 𝐬𝐴, I think the over 2.5 goals is also really attractive.
Great, and I guess it's still cold in Germany, and you always say that
it's snowing. Just
then
have a look
you always say
outside
that
here.
Leverkusen is not a team for the cold weather, even if they have plenty of aspirins. So let's back. Exactly. Let's back Borussia Dortmund. Then this is the game of fear. Wolfsburg, Furth, because if Wolfsburg don't beat Furth, they will be in real trouble. Only 1 point in the last 8 games. They are ready to fall into the bottom 3. And of course, they are now playing against the worst team in this Bundesliga, but a team that finally they are competing, they are picking up points, and they are undefeated in the last 4 games. Wow, I guess every single supporter of Wolfsburg are kind of scared about this game.
And that shows everything. If you are scared of Furth, then it's too late maybe. But the only hope for Wolfsburg is that Furth hasn't won a game on away pitches, and they only collected 1 point in 10 away games, and that's why Wolfsburg has to win this game for sure. Betting on Wolfsburg with that bad odds is no option, because they are kind of on the same step. Maybe Furth is even better in shape. So if you're neutral, you can find value on Furth, but I won't bet on anything like that. And betting on a Wolfsburg win at home is also ridiculous low with 1.6 after they were losing against almost every other team in the league. So for sure no bet, and the only thing I can imagine is that Wolfsburg now had time to meditate, and I think they just need a brain doctor to fix the mental problems, because everyone knows that the players are really good, but no coach, not Van Bommel and not Kohfeldt, were able to find the potential in them. And so I think Wolfsburg might win this game, but you can't trust them. That's why the odds are too low, and no bet here.
Exactly. What a terrible season for Wolfsburg, playing even Champions League this year and still fighting to avoid relegation in the Bundesliga. Radek, you mentioned before many times that you had good bets for an 𝐬𝐴 in this match day, so let's try it out.
I think we should combine some Asian Handicap 0 games. That means if there's a draw, then we don't lose the whole 𝐬𝐴. It's just that this game is putting out of the 𝐿𝐭𝐴. And I like Hertha, Asian handicap 0 at home against Bochum. And we got odds of 1.65 here, or 1.6 should be the average odd. Then I really like Asian handicap 0 on Union Berlin at Augsburg. We got odds of 1.8 here. We even can make it in a 𝐿𝐭𝐴 of double chance on Union Berlin. 1.46 or 1.4 is the odd for that. And I think Hoffenheim is not losing at Mainz. Asian handicap 0 on Hoffenheim or double chance on Hoffenheim is attractive with odds of 1.5. Frankfurt at Stuttgart, Asian handicap 0 on Frankfurt. We had also odds of 1.85 here. And that's it. And maybe considering putting Asian handicap and over 2.5 goals between Borussia Dortmund and Leverkusen in it. It also has odds of 1.4. To be honest, combining all of these games is kind of risky, because the more games you put in an 𝐿𝐴, the less the chance to win it. That's why I would concentrate on maximum 3 or 4 games, and I would say Hertha 1.6 and Union Berlin 1.8 and Frankfurt at Stuttgart 1.6 or 1.8 Asian handicap. These 3 games give you odds of 5.1 around, and yeah, I like that.
Okay, let's try then the Asian handicaps in this match day for our 𝐿𝐴. Then Radek, let's enjoy. We have very good games with Bayern Leipzig and Dortmund Leverkusen. Let's enjoy the Bundesliga again. Thanks.
Thanks. See you next time.
We have now all the information to bet on this match day in the Bundesliga. Who do you think will win, Bayern Munich or Leipzig? Let me know in the comment section. And of course, don't forget, if you enjoy our videos, press the like button, subscribe and click on the bell to get notifications. And also, if you prefer, we have a podcast for you. Thanks for watching and see you soon.